amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
Yesterday, the presidency of Nigeria reacted to the criticism of the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, who in his Easter message titled "To Mend a Broken Nation," the Easter metaphor, had alleged that every aspect of life in the country had been destroyed, while corruption was enthroned under President Mohammadu Buhari. The bishop, who also criticized the president over his government's inability to tackle insecurity and corruption, further claimed that President Buhari had divided Nigerians on the basis of ethnicity, religion, and region. In a press release by Femi Adesina, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, he said that for a man who has been spreading hate for decades, nothing new in the homily, except for the fact that while millions of Christians were remembering the Lord's crucifixion on Friday, his ascent on Saturday, his resurrection on Sunday, and subsequent appearance to his disciples, Bishop Matthew Kuka was playing politics. From his pulpit, he devoted his Easter message not to Christ's death and rebirth, so man might be saved, but to damning the government in the most unchristian terms. Joining us now from Sokoto State of Northern Nigeria is the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka. Bishop Kuka, thank you very much for joining us on the morning show. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Ruben, and good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Tundun. Good morning, Nigeria. Thank you.
Well, Bishop Kuka, well, I'm looking at this day, Big 5 story. He says, quoting the Bible, presidency tells Kuka to avoid foolish controversies, dissensions. And somewhere down the line, you were referred to, I think by Garubashiu in this instance, to James 1 verse 27. That, look, that should be what you should be doing. You should be visiting orphans and widows instead of, generating controversies and dissensions. And if you want to join politics, both Garubashiu and Femi Adesina say that you should just dump the cassock and join partisan politics, because in their reckoning, they think that your Easter homily was not about Christ, that it was about partisan politics. Are you guilty as charged?
Well, I don't know whether any of them has the ability, the capacity, or the locus to talk about guilt or no guilt. But let me first of all set the record straight. I delivered my sermon to my congregation in our cathedral. So the hearers or the bearers of the message are primarily the good people of the Diocese of Sokoto. And of course, I'm not unaware of the state of mind of my two friends, Femi Adesina and Garubashiu, when it comes to talking about Bishop Kuka. They seem to suspend reason and go into overdrive. Unless, of course, the Garubashiu has plans to convert to Christianity, or he's a closet Christian or an anonymous Christian. I appreciate the fact that when it comes to talking, he has not quoted the Holy Quran, and all he does is end up with some convoluted interpretations of the Bible that are embarrassing in their context. And I'm surprised that Femi Adesina, who I believe is a reverend of sorts in the Foursquare Gospel Church, I'm surprised that he's unable to help his friend put the facts together. But let me simply say that I have made an offer to them, and I still make the offer, that they can choose the venue and choose the time, and just let me know. I would like to sit down with the three of them, beginning with their honorable minister, and both of them. Let us sit down together and talk about Nigeria. I'm ready. I will pay my way. Let them choose the. I still repeat that offer to them. Dr. Abati, you have been a spokesman for the president. And I'm sure you know better than anybody else. In your time, spokesman, you are a writer of the finest quality. But I do not remember that I read messages written by you. The job of a spokesman, which you did extremely well, was to highlight, elaborate, debate, and put to the public government policies and what government intends to do. And they use it as an opportunity to clarify public policy as it affects governance and people. These are the only spokesmen that have spent a lot of time buying, photocopying paper and simply typing away text. They have been involved in all kinds of writing of the poorest quality, never talking to the issue. So the first thing is to show you their inefficiency. It is that they are used to writing statements as opposed to talking to Nigerians about policy. And all that this tells you is that 99.9% of the things they write are simply second-guessing what the president's mind is. They have no contact with the president. They have no contact with government policy. And all they are doing is writing on behalf of the president. There's nowhere in the world where the job of this nature is being done and has been done so poorly. Let me, if you may please indulge me, because I need to explain to you and to Nigerians where I am coming from. Let me even cut it by talking about the last 20 years. Dr. Abati, we are not strangers to one another. We knew where we were in 1999 before democracy, and you've made references to some of those issues. We're also, let's even start from 1999, since this country returned to democracy. I need to state where I'm coming from, so people can understand by context why I feel the way I feel. The first thing to say is I have served in 3 successive or even 4 presidents since 1999. I served in the Puta panel. I served as a member of the Electoral Reform Committee. I was appointed secretary of the Political Reform Conference. I spent about 7 years, beginning from Obasanjo, right through to this government, going between Abuja, Kaduna, and Ogoniland to reconcile the people of Ogoniland with Shell. My book will be out before the year runs out. So I'm saying, therefore, and I was also crucial to the signing of the second peace accord between General Buhari and Goodluck Jonathan. And if you excuse me, Dr. Abati, I have never told you this, we have not spoken about it, but you played a very critical role that Nigerians don't know, and I'm sure you probably don't even remember. Because when it came to the signing of that accord, you were the one person at the time that President Jonathan then, we had planned a meeting with President Jonathan. The meeting didn't happen because General Buhari, Jono Yegun, and all the team had all moved to Lagos because Asiwaju Tinubu was celebrating his birthday. And given his stature in the APC, his birthday was more or less like a public holiday for the APC. So General Buhari couldn't be at the meeting because the peace committee decided that we wanted the two of them to sit down based on the things we had heard and we were hearing. You remember General Buhari's famous statement about the elections and the outcome when he made the famous statement about Birijini, Karejini, meaning that if the election did not succeed, it will be blood for the monkey and blood for the dog. That it was going to be a fight to the finish. All of us are aware of the tensions that existed in the country at that time. I am humbled by the fact that I was critical and central to getting, led by General Abdul Salam, to getting both men to sign the peace accord, which, as you know, the point I want to make is, in the morning of that day, just 2 days to the election, when General Buhari had agreed, finally, we were able to track him down, he had agreed that he would meet with us at 8 o'clock in the morning. We didn't know how to reach President Jonathan because President Jonathan had told us he was flying to Asaba at 9 o'clock that morning. If you remember, I called you, I was able to reach you on the phone, and I said, look, we have a text of the peace accord that we want President Jonathan to please sign. Can you help take the text to him? I asked you, do you have your iPad with you? You said yes. I sent you the mail. You took to President Jonathan. He signed it. I was able to persuade President Jonathan to please shift his journey to Asaba and come sign the peace committee, the peace accord. The rest is history. I am saying so because I'm just saying I'm not a stranger to the process we're in. While we were sweating and doing all these things, Femi Adesina was being paid a salary by Ojikalu, and he did a good job in the Sun as a journalist. Garba Shehu was working for Atiku. So Lai Mohammed was working for Tinubu. So I think everybody should be able to answer his father's name. And I can say that the reason why I'm emotional and passionate about the things of this country and where we are today, I have paid my dues. Let each and every one of my critics tell me where they were at the most critical moments in Nigeria's history. It's not that now that people's bank accounts have swallowed, that they can probably try to preach gospels to us that they themselves don't believe in. I'm sorry I'm taking...
Thank you, sir. Not at all. In recent months, you've been quoted as saying, amongst other things, that you are opposed to nepotism and insecurity, not to President Buhari, that President Buhari still takes your calls, even though you're highly critical of him. And you recently also supported his position, even though he was criticized for declining his assent to the electoral bill because of that clause, making direct primaries compulsory. And you supported that, you agreed with that position. So my question here is, what is your response to the fact that you're being accused of hatred of President Buhari and his government, and there's some kind of a personal vendetta against the president?
As I said, my two friends are desperate to be seen to be doing their job. Nigerians, one and all, including those who can barely read, know that they've done a terribly bad job of their assignment. Because, as I said in the beginning, spokeswomen to the president, all you have to do is to see what the spokesperson of the President of the United States of America is doing, to see what the spokesperson of the Prime Minister of the UK is doing. As I said, none of these people have ever given you an impression that, look, this is what government... Because as I said, ask yourself, when last did you see a Femi Adesina or a Garba Shehu sitting... Dr. Abati, the table is still there and addressing the Nigerian media and taking questions from them. I am saying President Buhari knows that I have the greatest respect for him, and I believe he's a gentleman. But for me, as the president of Nigeria, he's done a terribly bad job as president. Nothing I'm saying is new. All the pastors who preached yesterday, all the people that people reported, tell me one single... Rufai was even perhaps much clearer than I am. Tell me one single thing in my text message, in the message I delivered, that you disagree with, and we can talk about that. But for me, that a Muslim will be the one to try and tell me what an Easter message should contain. You see, I understand all these things. So for me, General Buhari, President Buhari knows himself that it is nothing personal. And he also, I know that one thing the president said to me, and I was humbled, was when I heard rumors, people were telling me that the president is angry with me because of some things I had said at the beginning of the life of this administration, which is, please get on with the job of governance and stop. The fighting of corruption can go on pari passu. One shouldn't cancel out the other. The Buhari apparatchiks all descended on me. Today, 99% of all those people they are the ones who are asking me, what did I see that the rest of Nigerians didn't see? So, but one thing the president said to me, and I asked him whether he had heard and how he felt. The president said to me, quote, I can quote him verbatim. He said, Bishop Kuka, even if I know where you stand on any issue in Nigeria, what connected me with President Buhari and what has connected me with 99% of Nigerian Muslims is not the Catholic Church. It is my public position on a lot of things. And I'm not saying this because I expect people to agree with me. And I've said this severally. Nigerians have been extraordinarily magnanimous because I have not had that many people saying to me, we disagree with you. And I've never spoken because I know the issues. The primary beneficiary of the things I'm saying is myself, and I speak my mind. Now, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, let's clarify the issues. So for me, all these people who are talking about I'm attacking the president, where did I attack the president? I didn't attack his person. Is it about the nepotism that is stranger to us? And the two critical things I have fundamental disagreement with this president is his inability to manage diversity effectively and efficiently. I have studied diversity as a subject, so I understand what I'm talking about. The second thing is that those who think that this thing is about President Buhari have never dealt with the issues of his character or lack of it. I believe he's a gentleman. But as far as being the president of Nigeria is concerned, we're talking about two different things. And please, if you may just indulge me, there was an interview that Stella Obasanjo of blessed memory, God rest her soul, granted to a State House magazine. And the issue was, she was asked many questions about her husband. They asked her, please rank your husband as a husband, as a president, and as a father, and as a husband. Now, it was very interesting. I remember that interview very well. Mrs. Obasanjo said, look, as a president of Nigeria, I rank my husband between 80 and 90%. I live with him. I know he's doing very well. As a father, I think she ranked him maybe 30 or 40, I don't remember, 30 or 40% or so. Then as a husband, she said something like she's called him 30% or something of that nature. What am I saying? I'm not the first person to disagree with Buhari's policy. His own wife has done so. I live in northern Nigeria, and I can tell you the things that one is hearing every blessed day. You don't even need to hear them. All you need to do is to be alert. So these guys should not be sitting in their air-conditioned offices, drinking coffee and then just thinking that somehow everything is hunky-dory. It's just that we don't seem to appreciate. Let them disagree with the text of my sermon or any of the things I've written.
All right. Bishop, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk some more. There's a lot to still talk about on the show. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Our guest is still the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka. Father, thank you very much for staying with us. Well, Rufai.
All right. Thank you so much, Father. So, Father, I think it was a couple of months ago, you made a Christmas message that a lot of people reacted to. In fact, some were even calling for attacks on you and your life. I'd like to know how you've lived within, all of those calls for attacks by various groups. And also, you had a chance to speak, with the international body, a Foreign Relations Committee in America, where you made some vital recommendations about the things going on in Nigeria, for the goodwill of elucidation in the Easter period. We would like to get those, copious notes on how we can fix a lot of our problems, niggling problems, I should say, Father.
Well, first of all, this is a commercial period. Let me say that in another month or so, my new book titled The Broken Tongues, The Elusive Quest for Cohesion in Nigeria, which is a collection of some of my convocation lectures, is going to be out. It will illustrate to you, some of my agonies and all the struggles and so on and so forth. Look, I'm a Christian. And I think anybody who has a bit of some level of faith must also be convinced that, look, you don't measure what you are saying by how many hands are raised in support of you. It's only truth that truth validates itself. I have never tried to speak because I want people to agree with me. I've only spoken my mind, and I've always constantly thanked all the media that have made this opportunity available to me. What I will tell you on Monday, I will tell you on Tuesday. What I tell you in the morning, I will tell you at night. So I'm sorry, I've got my own faults, but I think even my worst enemies will tell you that one of the things I don't do is to equivocate, especially when we're dealing with very clear issues of moral choices. My time in America, a lot of it was, unfortunately for me, 90% of the things that were said were actually based on ignorance because people didn't understand the context of what happened. Generally, including my friends from the presidency, what everybody was saying that I went to address the American Congress and I told the American Congress bad things about Nigeria. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, the Americans know far more about what is happening in our country than anybody. And secondly, I didn't go to address the American Congress. I went for a conference, and I had 3 platforms at the conference, and I spoke. And the theme of the conference was on religious persecution. I spoke on the persecution of Christians specifically, My Muslim critics said to me, why didn't you talk about the killing of Muslims? I said, another speaker was asked to speak on the persecution of Muslims as they saw it. I was asked to speak about the persecution of Christians as I saw it. I wasn't in a position to amend what was said. But again, like I said, can you name one single thing that I said that you disagree with? So look, contextually, that's why I took time to tell you where I've come from in the discussion about Nigeria. And I feel that I have very, very little else to prove to Nigerians about where my heart is, regarding this country. A lot of the guys who are saying the things they are saying today, I know where we were with Eli Mohammed and Bashir Bola, Ashwaju Tinubu, and all the members of NADECO, and all the difficult things we had to deal with. Yesterday, my good friend Dr. Kayode Fayemi called me. We were just joking and laughing on the phone, over the message. But because of the kind of background he has come from, of struggle, I used to say to him jokingly, I said, look, you are the first person to start a pirate radio. And, this is where you've ended up. So the problem with our situation in Nigeria is that there's no consistency in the system. There are very few people that can tell you these are the miles that we have logged that have qualified us to be here. Now, again, if the elections end, many of these people who are presidential spokesmen today may find another job somewhere. So for me, if it is talking about Nigeria, just ask me the questions or where you think my analysis is wrong. And of course, I'm not saying it because I'm right. I'm saying it because this is what I feel. So when people react, I'm actually very happy. They don't have to agree with me, but that reaction, I'm a public intellectual. My responsibility and duty is to provoke conversation. But we are living in a semi-feudal environment which people think that, imagine, and Africans will tell you, man is talking, woman is talking, big men are talking, small people are talking. We're in a democracy, and a good number of the operators of this system don't understand the ingredients of democracy. They just think democracy is about building roads. They tell you, oh, see the infrastructure we are working on. No, the basis of the things that make democracy what it is are intangible. They are about freedom of expression. They are about expanding the frontiers of human imagination and thinking. So any attempt to limit those ideas collapses, and it's about managing diversity. So, and if I tell you the way I feel about what this government has done, I know what I'm talking about. The facts bear me out. The records are there about we are fighting insecurity. Have we ever had a time in Nigeria that you say all the security people, all the people holding security positions in Nigeria are all Christians or all Muslims or from one tribe? How do you run a country like that on issues as sensitive? Because the beauty, you go to the FBI, you go to the CIA, they will tell you people are going out in the FBI are learning Igbo. They speak Igbo. They speak Yoruba. You have to have listening devices across the board. So when you now bring nepotism is horrible. It is evil precisely because it denies you as a leader an opportunity to hear other voices. So all you have is you just end up in an echo chamber in which all of you are speaking the same language, all of you are praying, all of you think the same, and so on and so forth. So for me, when I speak like this, I'm not, if my mother were president of Nigeria or my father were president of Nigeria, they are not because both of them are dead. I will take the same position if there is any evidence in my mind that everybody is not being carried along. You can't satisfy everybody, but at least give people the impression that they matter. You are not voted by people from one religion or region. You are not voted by people from your town. So for me, what we are doing is killing democracy. And by allowing banditry to gain the kind of scope it has gained, we're actually trying to use democracy to kill democracy. Those are the things that I'm passionate about, and that is why I'm resistant, to anything that tries to close those doors of opportunity.
Well, Bishop Kukah, in your reflection, you talked about the conflict between Caesar and God as part of the problems we have in Nigeria. How can we resolve that conflict between Caesar and God as we move towards a new transition, another transition in Nigerian politics? And you say the system has broken down, and you provided more than enough illustration. How do we fix this broken system called Nigeria? Those two questions.
Well, Dr. Abati, remember that every Nigerian who raised his hand to say he wanted to be president or governor told us what he was going to do. And I have never taken President Buhari out of the realm of the promises he made to Nigeria. And I'm saying to his so-called spokesman, let them tell me, give us chapter and verse. Let them tell me all the promises that were made. There is a box we can tick. For me, those are the issues we're talking about. So the people who are now telling you they want to be a president, They believe that they can fix the problems of Nigeria. Your responsibility and your duty, and I put it in my statement, we must now look at a gift horse in the mouth. We are no longer interested in the promises you're making because, first of all, politics in Nigeria has always been a monologue. That is the PDP, the APC, all these parties, they just carry their people, pay a few women, pay a few poor people to gather in the stadium. They go there, they speak for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they talk to themselves, they clap for themselves, and everybody goes so. Then they go and sew a new gear, and then they prepare to go to the next town. We must now insist, because we are better educated than most of the people who are asking for this position. We on this other side, this is where the professors are. And this is why we have this great tragedy that the universities of Nigeria have not been given the respect that they deserve. And any country, the fact that our universities are closed suggests very clearly that we have opted and opened the doors for the banditry. So most of these things we're talking about are things that are the result of politics without the refined ingredients of intellectualism and diagnosis. So it is our duty, and it is the business of the media. And I thank this day for now opening up this opportunity. But it shouldn't be a monologue. Nigerians must create the opportunity to be able to interrogate all these people, and they design the mechanism. Because the reason why people like us are talking, my opponents, like the spokesman of the president, think that we have cast our vote. Let us all go to sleep. And all the obligation we have is to pray for our leaders. And that takes me to answering your question about Caesar and God. Dr. Abati, I'm a priest. And also, I have studied a bit of theology, so I understand this issue. I'm not going to take lectures from illiterates who don't understand the scriptures nor the politics. The idea, the debate, the tension between Caesar and God. If you remember the text in the Bible, what was the issue? They approached Jesus, they said, look, what are we to do? Are we to pay tax to Caesar, or are we, what are we to do? Now, God, Jesus said to them, give me the coin. Whose image is on the coin? They said, well, the image of Caesar. So he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. Nigerians have, in their naivety, and let me say secular analysts across the world, have taken this to mean that Jesus was talking about the separation of religion and politics, only superficially. The real context of what Jesus was saying, which you can only insinuate by extrapolation, is Jesus says, okay, the coin belongs to Caesar. So Caesar has dominion over the coin. But who is Caesar answerable to? Caesar is answerable to God. Therefore, the coin and Caesar belong to God. And that is why you move from there to say politics should be an act. It's a call from God, and it should be an act of serving God. So those who think that what Jesus was saying was that politics is here, religion is here, and so all these journalists who are telling me, oh, Bishop, please go back if you want to be a politician. You are a journalist. Were you trained to go? Were you trained to to work for any president? I understand. And like I said, I am political, but I'm not a politician.
Well, Bishop Matthew Asankuka, we would like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show here on Arise News today. Thank you very much indeed for your insights about the state of the nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tundun, and thank you, Rufai, and thanks everybody.
Sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We'll kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you, and remember blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.